Hello, this is Allie with the Perception Trainers, author of The Perception Diet, and today I come to you with a viewer request. So I've actually had this request come in several times over the last couple of weeks, and that request was to talk about chronic pain and how to deal with chronic pain and what to do with chronic pain. And I wanted to make this video because I understand on a level how excruciatingly debilitating chronic pain can be. So I want to start by saying that I've never personally experienced chronic pain in like a traditional sense. So I am not talking from personal experience here. And I want you to know that just because I haven't experienced it, I want you to know that I'm fully respectful of how consuming, like all consuming, debilitating pain can be and chronic pain can be, and if there's anyone in the world that's going to make light of it, I am not that person. And I want you to know first and foremost that if you are someone who is dealing with chronic pain and you are suffering and you're feeling pain on a chronic basis, that first and foremost I am just sending you my love and my compassion and my support, because I know how life-altering chronic pain can be, and I just want you to know that, yeah, I'm sending you my love more than anything, and my compassion more than anything. And the second thing I want to say is that the closest thing that I have experienced to chronic pain would be my chronic digestive issues. So basically from the time I was born to the time I was like 20, I had stomach aches like once or twice a week for basically my entire childhood and early adult life. So I had really bad digestive issues and chronic enough pain that I know what it's like to experience pain on a regular basis and not know how to make it go away and not know how to fix it. And so that is basically the angle that I'm coming from here. That's the experience I'm speaking from. So that is how I wanted to start that video, this video. So first thing that I want to talk about with chronic pain, and of course I acknowledge that there is a difference between chronic pain that kind of manifests for no reason or seemingly no reason. So things like fibromyalgia or arthritis, IBS issues, chronic pain that just happens to the body not because of some external source. And then there's the chronic pain from like an injury, so like falling and breaking your hip and having to deal with pain after that for a long time. So there are definitely two different types of chronic pain, and in a way I believe dealing with them mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, there are kind of separate techniques for the two types of pain, but also I feel like there are many overlaps. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about with chronic pain, whether it's from an injury or if it's something that manifests or something you've had for your whole life, is stress. And what I noticed even in myself, and what I've noticed with people that I've worked with who have chronic pain, is that you have the chronic pain, so and generally with pain and things like that, there are periods of flare-up and periods of lower pain. And I know that especially during periods of flare-up, stress tends to get really, really high. And the first thing that I want you to know is that with pain, there's almost always inflammation. And no matter what kind of pain you're dealing with, usually that pain has its source, at least a little bit, in inflammation. And I want you to know that stress is really like the worst thing for inflammation possible. And of course there's that catch-22 of when you're feeling the pain, you stress out about the pain, which then generally makes the pain worse, and then you stress out about it more, and da-da-da-da. So first thing that I want to address with chronic pain, no matter what kind of pain you're in, is your stress levels. And again, like, I am not saying that this stuff is easy to do, because I know that trying to reduce your stress levels just on average for a normal person who's not in pain is difficult, and then when you add pain on top of that, it's even worse. But the thing is, the best thing you can do for yourself, the most nourishing thing you can do for yourself, the most healing thing you can do for yourself is learn ways of decreasing your stress levels, okay? So this can literally be things like taking a bath, drawing, journaling, getting a counselor, someone to talk to, going for walks in nature, spending time in meditation, doing gentle yoga, obviously things that aren't going to flare, like inflame your situation, sleep, extra sleep. And again, I'm not trying to make light of this. What I'm saying is that if you have chronic pain, dealing with your stress levels is just a non-negotiable. And you need to prioritize de-stressing and doing things on a daily basis, like on a regular basis, that take your stress levels down and take your immune response down and take your, obviously, your fight or flight response down, because your body requires it. If you're in chronic pain and you are in stress, you're going to be exacerbating it. So really paying attention to your stress levels. And that leads me into my second thing, which is resisting the pain. So like I was saying, usually when you have a flare-up or when the pain is especially bad or when life is especially stressful and you notice that your pain is especially bad, the first thing we want to do is resist it. We want to resist the pain. We want to push the pain away. We don't want the pain to be happening. And like I say, I used to do this all the time with my stomach aches. I would start having a stomach ache and it would just be like everything, all my muscles would contract and my mind would start racing and all of this stuff. I'd be resisting the pain and it would just make it worse. So the second thing that I want to talk about is learning to embrace the pain on a level. So this, again, I'm not saying to like resign yourself that you're in pain forever and it's never going to get better and this is just your life. What I'm saying is when you're in those moments of real intense pain and the mental mind games are starting to crop up with how much you don't want to be in pain, how much you want to resist the pain, my biggest tip for you is to stop and just take 10 super long, super deep breaths and just for a moment stop resisting the pain. Okay, so just allowing the pain to be what it is, and you'll notice that in your mind that if you are in this state of resisting the pain, it almost makes the pain worse. And we're afraid to kind of surrender to the pain because we think that that's going to make it worse. But really, when we allow our minds to relax and we allow our bodies to relax, again, it's really going to help take down the emergency flares that's going on in your brain that just tends to make the pain worse, right? So if you can get to a place where you're just not resisting the pain when it's in its super flare-up state, and you're just like as much as you can relaxing and allowing yourself to just be in the moment, to just breathe and to just, you know, kind of find whatever comfort you can find in the moment, that is going to be a huge thing for you. So like I said, like when I used to get stomach aches, the worst things that I could do was like try to resist the stomach ache. Always, always, always the most relief came was when I just allowed myself to release into it and to relax into it and to just kind of go into another place where I was just allowing what was happening to happen. And like I even think that they talk about these kind of techniques during like childbirth and labor and things like that, which is one of the most intense things you can go through, is to just not resist it, right? So allow your body to relax, allow your mind to relax, and remind yourself you're not telling yourself that the pain is going to be there forever and you're releasing into it. You're just not resisting the pain, okay? And then from there, what I want you to do is to focus on the pain, whether this is, again, whether this is chronic pain that came from a spontaneous thing or chronic pain that came from an injury, is to say, okay, I have this pain. This pain is real. This pain is happening. I'm not going to try and pretend like it's not happening. And so first things first, notice if you start beating yourself up about your pain, okay? So whether you're in a state where you're just like I really wish I didn't have this pain, I'm so mad at my body, I'm so mad at this pain, I'm so mad at myself that I'm not better, I'm so mad at myself that I'm not healing faster, I'm so mad at myself that I can't do what everyone else is doing, I'm so disappointed in my body, like all of these kind of negative thoughts about yourself and about your body and what you're going through, I want you to catch those things. When the pain starts to happen and you notice that you start to think negatively about yourself and beat yourself up, that is when I want you to turn this around. So I want you to use your pain as a trigger for you to love yourself more and to love yourself deeper. So when you're in those moments of pain and when you're in those moments of really beating yourself up, I want you to catch it, and I want you to send yourself love and compassion instead. Okay? I want you to place your hands on your heart, and I want you to just say, this is where I'm at. I'm not going to resist this, and I'm going to send myself love in this moment. I'm going to send myself compassion in this moment. I'm not going to try and berate myself into feeling better or beat myself up that I don't, okay? I want you to just accept where you are and love yourself in the moment. Allow your pain to be a cry for more love, okay? And again, like I'm saying, I know that this is not easy, right? This stuff is not easy. But if you can turn your pain into an excuse to love yourself deeper, if you can turn your pain into a reason to take better care of yourself, to acknowledge your limits and acknowledge where you're at this point and just accept them and accept yourself where you are, and that maybe you can't do as much as other people, maybe you can't, you know, experience as much as other people, maybe you can't handle as much as other people, and just be okay with that. To just give yourself permission to be where you're at and to love yourself fully and completely and deeply here in this moment. And allow your pain to just be a reminder to love yourself more, to love yourself more, to love yourself more. I feel like that is one of the most amazing turnarounds that you can do with chronic pain. And lastly, I have another video, which I'll link in the description below, about negative emotions and dealing with negative emotions. And I believe that you can use that same meditation for chronic pain and communicating with your pain and communicating with your body in those moments of pain, just like you can when you're experiencing negative emotions. So I will, like I say, I will link the video down below that you can do that meditation, and instead of tapping into a negative emotion, tap into your pain and see if you can start to communicate with your body and communicate with the pain and see what comes up. Because like I say, I fully believe, and I get it if you don't want to believe this, I'm not forcing this on you, but for me, I fully believe that absolutely everything is a blessing. So for me, my stomach aches were like a huge blessing in my life, because of course they were painful, and of course they were terrible, and of course they were confusing, and I hated it in the moment, but doing the techniques that I've just shared here, like learning to love myself more, learning to communicate with myself, and learning to communicate with the pain, learning not to resist the pain but to allow the pain, I literally discovered that my stomach aches were me trying to get love from myself. My body was manifesting stomach aches all the time when I was ignoring myself, and I wasn't giving myself pleasure, and I wasn't giving myself love, and I wasn't giving myself support. I wasn't giving myself any of the things that I needed emotionally to be happy and healthy. And as I started to do those things, my stomach aches started to diminish. My stomach aches also taught me how to take care of myself physically, so with food and with exercise and with lifestyle and stress and all of this stuff. My stomach aches actually saved me from a life of being ill, probably, and illness to come, because I had to completely alter my lifestyle in order to be healthy. And honestly, it was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Like, I am the healthiest member of my family, I can pretty much say that. And that is because of my stomach aches and because I needed to take care of myself. And also my stomach aches proved to be something that always cropped up when I was falling off my path, when I wasn't following what I needed to be doing in my life. And so overall, I walk pretty much free of my stomach aches now, but that is because of all of that emotional work that I did, and that chronic pain that I had was truly a blessing in disguise, because it created this life that I have now, and it pushed me down this path. So that is what I want to say finally, is just if you can start to see your pain as a blessing in disguise, and maybe it's there to teach you something very valuable, it can make this whole journey a lot easier. So that's my video on chronic pain. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, video requests, leave them down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.